To start, good morning everybody. I am Sophia D. Gabuat, the project manager of JERRS Manufacturing Company. I am also proud to introduce to you my amazing team which makes this project possible. Ms. Ella Sotelo, who is our software developer, Ms. Riza Ereño, our system analyst, Ms. Jisrael Matutina, our software engineer, and lastly, Mr. Renel Habak, the quality assurance engineer. So to elaborate more, may I call on Mr. Renel Habak, our Quality Assurance Engineer. The floor is yours, Mr. Renel Habak.
So thank you, Ms. Gabuat, for the warming introduction. Good morning. Good morning again, everyone. I am Renel Habak, JERRS Manufacturing Company Quality Assurance Engineer. Now let's begin presenting the planning phase of our project. So first is the objective. So generally, our team aims to contribute in increasing the revenue of the company. Why and how? So our group recalls that the line between software and hardware is very thin. Both are inevitable parts of each other in the modern manufacturing setup. So the world was in the new era of innovation. Companies that have already started to embrace new technologies are seeing a 7% revenue growth advantage over their peers, according to a report by McKinsey. So the economic and social downturn caused by COVID-19 will create a much deeper divide between manufacturers who have just started to digitize and those who are much farther along on their digital journey. So let's be more specific in our objectives. Next is the first objective of our project is to reduce or eliminate lags or delays in the order process of the customers and record it accurately. As the company quality assurance engineer, we make sure and aim to improve the software development process by detecting and fixing bugs in the programs and preventing it from occurring again. So we consider the use of real-time technology in the sales order process, which can significantly reduce the cost while increasing the revenue because in the real-time process, it greatly shortens the cash cycle of the company. Lags inherent in batch system can cause delays of several days between taking the customer order and shipping it. So a real-time system with remote terminals reduces or eliminates these lags. An order received in the morning may be shipped by early afternoon or the longest might be between 1 to 5 days, depending on the volume of the orders. We also make sure that the system will record these orders accurately, especially the status of the orders, because some orders might be not fulfillable and non-fulfillable because of unavailability of stock, so we can move it to the back orders and prevent problems with our customers. The next objective of our project is to maintain real-time inventory information and to determine immediately if the inventories are on hand. It is in connection with our first objective. Real-time processing can give the company a competitive advantage in the marketplace by maintaining current inventory information. So the sales staff can determine immediately whether the inventories are on hand. This enhances the company ability to maximize customer satisfaction, which translates into increased sales. In contrast, batch systems do not provide salespeople causing salespeople with current information. So as a result, a portion of the order must sometimes be back ordered, causing uncertainty for the customer, which may cause delays and lags in the fulfillment of customers' orders. So the next is the scope of the project. The team decided that the system will start in the processing of the orders because it is where the it is where our objectives are aligned specifically, and we concluded that the system must end as the product is ready to ship. Due to limited time frame, we also decided to have a limitation which some particular process might not be included in the system that we will be presenting, such as return process of the customer orders, issuance of invoices, detailed shipping process, and the billing process, and also the cash collection, because we do not want to rush things and we believe that rush decision can lead to disastrous results. So we wanted to focus primarily on the two objectives that we set. So to further discuss the project, may I call Ms. Labuat again to present to us the analysis phase. The analysis phase. Thank you.
Thank you. After hearing what are the objectives of our of our project. Now we will proceed to what inputs and outputs we have, or we will be using to achieve the objectives that we set. Actually, we choose these two outputs in particular because it includes all the pertinent process in the order system that we had. First output is the sales order fulfillment report. The purpose of this is to track workflow capability when a customer has agreed to make a purchase. The users are the customers and the sales clerk. The output media is the hard copy and soft copy which we will be presenting on the design page. The frequency is when they are received and confirmed orders from customers. We know that every new sales is almost always worth celebrating, but the work isn't done until the order is fulfilled. An order fulfillment is the processing and delivering an order to a customer. It involves processing of order, which is also includes in the back orders. It also involves in picking and packing items and shipping the orders. If a company cannot fulfill orders to meet customers' specifications, it negatively impacts the customer experience, and therefore the set objectives may not be achieved, which is to increase the revenue of the company. I already mentioned the inputs needed, but let's elaborate it more. So the input includes the sales open report, which is prepared by sales clerk, prepared in the sales department, and the input medium is computer and printer. The open sales order report lists all the open customer orders that have not yet been billed. It includes the status of the order. Next is Next is the sales back order report, which is prepared by sales clerk and it is prepared in sales department. The input medium is computer and printer. In simple definition, back orders occur when there is insufficient inventory to cover a sales order item's demand. Though it is simple enough to define, it can be challenging to identify and fix the root cause of the shortage. Next list is the pick list, which is prepared by sales clerk, prepared in sales and warehouse department. The input medium is computer and printer. It is a document that contains the list of picking items compiled to fulfill customer order. A pick list allows warehouse management to keep the picking process organized by assigning order to each picker so they always have the next set of orders lined up as soon as one is picked. By implementing a management system, picking list is created automatically and in digital form and also can be printed on paper. Ultimately, the purpose of a picking list is for the operator to have all the information necessary for preparing and dispatching products in a safe and controlled manner and preventing typical errors that can occur during the order process. Lastly is the packing list, which is prepared by sales clerk and prepared in sales department. The input medium is the computer and printer. As I mentioned earlier, pick lists have all necessary information in preparing and dispatching items or orders, but they will be able to ship these orders if they match the goods in the packing list, which is originated from sales department. These inputs and outputs will elaborate more on the design phase. And to introduce the second input and output, may I call Ms. Areño to present the next output. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gabuat. Good morning, everyone. My name is Liza May Areño, and I will present the second output. The second output is the stock inventory count. The purpose of this output is to show the physical number and condition of products in stock. The user of this output are the sales order clerk and inventory manager. The output media will be in a hard copy and soft copy format. The frequency of the output is regular counting on a scheduled basis. In this output, we include two inputs, the inventory list and the stock release document, also called the picking ticket. Inventory list is an itemized detail of every product the company has, including the product name, the description, pricing, quantity, and etc. Inventory list will be prepared by the warehouse clerks in the warehouse office. They can use a computer or just print a hard copy. Another input is the stock release document. stock release document identifies the items of inventory that must be located and picked from the warehouse. It also provides formal authorization for warehouse personnel to release the specified items. It is prepared by the sales and the warehouse department in sales department office or warehouse office. Same with the inventory list, computer and printer will be the input medium. To present the master and transaction file, may I call Ms. Matutina to present it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Arena, and good morning, everyone. I am Cecile Almatutina, and I am here to discuss our transaction and master files. We all know that the transaction files change every time there's a new transaction, while the master file contain the record bearing the data that are more or less permanent and they do not frequently change. For our transaction file, we have here the order file, which is used to store all the data which is used to store all the orders received by the business, including the ordered goods and the quantity. And this file will serve as the whole data during transaction processing. And the file is also used by the management to check on the daily or periodic transactions. And then next, for the master files, we have here the inventory file, which is used to list all the items in the inventory, including the items in stock or expected to be in short in stock, and it is used to produce the inventory status report that is sent to inventory management. And may I call in again Ms. Gabuat to present the design phase of the project. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Matutina. To further discuss what input and outputs we have in the analysis phase, let's proceed in the presenting the design phase. The first prototype output is the sales order fulfillment report. We already mentioned that the entire procedure involves processing orders, warehousing, packing, and shipping products. The ultimate goal for the order fulfillment process is to accurately deliver the product to the consumers on time. In this prototype, you will see the soft and the online form sample of the sales order fulfillment. You can search for the customer or the order number. This is also include the order number, your customer's name, ordered on, which is the date when the customer ordered, the arranged ship date for the orders, the amount to be paid by the customers, the number of the items ordered by the customer, the status whether it was picked or packed or ready to ship or if it was already shipped, the warehouse location, and if it is fulfillable. This is an important part because if it is non-fulfillable, then it must be goes back on the back order report, which I will show later in the input part. Next slide. In the previous slide, you saw the online format of the sales order fulfillment. You can print it, and if it was printed, this will be the format and the design. The date above was the print date and the time. Next slide is in the open sales report, which is the online format. It includes the sales order, which is the sales order number, the date, the customer shipping address, number of items, the status, because it is still an open order, status because it is still an open order, the shipment details must be fulfillable, and action, which is added column in the case there is an action done like email the department like sales, warehousing, or shipping regarding the status of the open order. In the next slide is the printed format, which is the same as the online format, but in the upper part, it is the date it was printed. The next is the pick list, which contains the order number, the pick list name, which is in the list which contains the item to be picked. This pick list also includes the picker, created by, created on, the number of items in the picking list, the status whether it is already sent to the packing area or just completed the picking part or it was in the process of picking. Next is the location of the warehouse. Notes, if any, and alerts, which means that if it is notified the other departments of the status and even the customer, which will be done through email. The next one is the packing list. It is almost the same as the picking list, but it is focuses on the packing of the item. To elaborate more about our output and input, here is Miss Erenio.
Thank you again, Ms. Gabuat. The second prototype is the stock inventory count. In the presentation is an output or printed form of the stock inventory count. This prototype includes the details like the date, the person who counts the inventory, in what department he/she belongs, the name of the supervisor, and his/her signature. In the middle part, you will see the details of the product like the special code, category, product name, available stock, the location of the product in the warehouse, and the note part if there is specific details that need to be emphasized. The form also includes an overall remarks. Next slide, the prototype of the input of stock inventory count, which is the inventory list. Inventory list includes both the printed and online form. The next slide. In the screen is the online inventory list. It shows the filter, the sorting, the total adjusted value, and there is also a button for printing and saving. Both the online and printed form includes details like the item name, part number, category, sales description, item cost, and quantity in stock, barcode, pictures, actual quantity, and the value adjustment. Next slide. The next input prototype is the stock release document. This prototype is in printed form. In this document includes the date, release number, name of the person who released the order or the product, the company who ordered, and the person who approved the releasing of the order. It also includes the details of the product like the code, quantity, product name, location where it can be seen in the warehouse, cost, and the total amount. There's also remarks if there is an important note that needs to be emphasized. Name and signature of the authorized person is also needed. Again, to present the master and transaction file, may I call Ms. Matutina. Thank you.
Thank you again, Ms. Erenio. And for the design of our transaction file, for the first column, we have the reference number, which is to search a specific record by its reference number. And for the second column is the date when the transaction occurred. And for the third column is the customer ID, which is to track who ordered or to search a specific record by the customer code. And for the fourth column is the amount, which or the total that the customer ordered. And for the last column or for the notes is to emphasize or we put that in case there's an additional information that the customer prepares. And for the design of our master file, which is the inventory file, the first column refers to product ID, which is these are a series of numerical or alphanumerical digits that we are going to use to identify a specific product. And for the product name, which distinguishes the seed from all other products. And for the third column, which is the product category, these are the inventory items that have similar descriptive attributes that are put in the same group for easy classification. And for the product description, it provides all the information and the details of our product. And for the fifth column is the unit price, or the inventory file contains prices for all items, and this enables for the fifth column, the inventory is okay. And for the ideal stock, this enables the company to value all the stock held at a particular time. And for the seventh column refers to how many stocks are available, and for the eighth column refers to what day or date is the reorder time for the certain product, and the last column is when the last update for us to be aware. And may I call in again Ms. Erenio to present the development phase, which are the policies governing the system. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Matutina. Under the policy governing the system, we have three system usage policy, sales policy, and inventory policy. Under system usage policy, every employee will receive a unique username and password for accessing JERRS Manufacturing Company computer system. Employees should use their own username and password when performing the assigned work in order to ensure that only authorized person can access the said computer. Under the sales policy, acknowledgement and acceptance of the order are confirmed by sending emails. The details registered in the company's IT system constitute proof of all the transaction finalized with the customer. Lastly, under the inventory policy, an inventory register database must be printed monthly and the hard copy filed in a chronological order to maintain a proper audit trail. To present the procedures, may I call Ms. Sotelo?
I am LM Sotelo and I will discuss the context and decompose diagram. Let's first discuss the context diagram, which generalizes the function of the entire system. As Mr. Habak mentioned in the logical scope, the system will start in processing of the orders and ends when the orders are ready to ship. You can see here in the context diagram that we will start from the customer order. Then the order will be processed in the sales order processing system, which will be elaborate on the decomposed diagram. We will verify the stock availability in the warehouse, and from there, we can prepare the order shipment. But it is just a small scope of the entire system of our project. Let's proceed to the decomposed diagram to further understand it. As mentioned earlier, the system will start from the processing the orders of the customers. Under real-time processing, when the orders are received, verified, and accepted, it will now go on the open sales order, which means that the status of the order is being processed and will proceed in the checking inventory if there is enough stock to proceed in the order. If there is not enough stock in the inventory, it will trigger a back order that will generate a back order report and send or notify the sales department, which will be the ones to communicate with the customers, whether they are willing to wait or the transaction will not proceed because there is not enough stock. But I will not elaborate more because it is not within the scope of the diagram. On the other hand, if the inventory is enough, it will now proceed to the picking and packing, which is part of the sales order fulfillment workflow. However, if there is inventory discrepancy and the orders proceed to the picking process in the warehouse, then it will lead to half picks, which generally put back remaining items that are not available and fulfillment is postponed. It may cause delays and problems with the customer and inventory management. So it is best to do a back order, which will alert the sales department to the customers whether to proceed the order with inadequate items or cancel the order. Even if may not happen, there is still a possibility, and so by investigating and doing physical counting, it will improve the efficiency of the system and the reporting accuracy. Now, if there is no problem with the picking and packing, then the order may now be ready to ship and we now have a sales order fulfillment in the end of which is the end of the process of the system. And that's the end of our presentation. Thank you.
Isa pa or mamaya ulit? 9:30, 10? Or tuloy-tuloy na?
Para saan?
Hindi, isa pa ba?
Bukas kaya umaga? Bukas na
Ella,
umaga?
patanggal mo yung ano yung sa transaction